Days of Our Lives spoilers. Gaby and JJ's passion rekindles. Chance at new chapter together. EJ threatens prison for Sarah. Abby pumps passion thickets and Clyde's freedom. Greetings to all Days of Our Lives fans. Don't forget to subscribe for the latest updates. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that Gaby Hernandez de Mura is hurting over her imminent divorce, but she agreed with Stefan de Mura about it being time to move on. Stefan and Gaby foisted too important damage on each other, so now they feel like there's no coming back from it. Of course, Days of Our Lives characters don't generally stay single for long. Gaby may end up putting her heart on the line again sooner than she thinks, especially now that another former honey is about to demit the picture. Days spoilers say JJ Deveraux is headed back to the show, so he could be a love interest option for Gaby. Although JJ's original Days return will be about officiating Chad de Mura and Abigail de Mura's marriage, he'll have time to get involved in other stories ultimately. Casey Moss mugged quite a bit in recent months, so there's much further JJ content to come. That means JJ will have a chance to get greeted with some familiar faces like Gaby, who could use someone to lean on. Gaby and JJ will always have a special connection, especially since she played a part in saving him the night he contemplated taking his own life. Maybe JJ could reflect on that delicate memory and offer Gaby his gratefulness once they cross paths. JJ could also try to return the favor by supporting Gaby as she copes with her split from Stefan. Although JJ could no way truly repay Gaby for coming to his deliverance that night, he might extend some kindness when she needs it most. JJ's comfort would still mean a lot to Gaby, so this could be the launch of a romantic reconnection. It'll be intriguing to see what their chemistry looks like now that Cherry Jimenez is playing Gaby rather of Camila Banus. Days suckers will be eager to find out if JJ and Gaby still have those flying sparks. Who do you suppose Gaby should move on with now that she's decoupling Stefan? Would you be on board with JJ and Gaby rejuvenating effects? Days of Our Lives spoilers say some love life updates are brewing, so stick with us for further story prognostications and news on any major reunions. Days of Our Lives Thursday, October 10 recap. EJ threatens prison for Sarah. Abby pumps passion thickets and Clyde's freedom. Days of Our Lives spoilers recap for Thursday, October 10, reveals that Mark Green met with Clyde Weston in captivity and assured him that Abigail de Mura was carrying out a plan in Paris. Mark said it wouldn't be long until Abigail was Mrs. Chad de Mura, but that wasn't good enough for Clyde, who wanted her to be the widow de Mura rather. Clyde explained that his counsel was getting him off the hook since Abby was alive and the medicine ring charges could be dropped due to procedural contraventions. That's why Clyde would be suitable to spend the de Mura fortune, but he allowed it to be easier if Chad de Mura was deceased. With that in mind, Clyde pushed Mark to be his hitman and claimed that his sweet ma was a goner if he didn't exclude Chad. In Paris, Abigail heeded to Chad's stories about when they lived there with the kiddies. That led to Abby pretending to flash back, though she claimed she recalled passions rather than specific recollections. Abigail did mention hearing the pitter jargon of their children's bases and seeing the light come through the window in the morning. Abby also said she flashed back Chad and how important she loved him, so they began kissing passionately. Effects started to toast up as Abigail took off Chad's jacket, but she suddenly stopped and said she didn't suppose they should get intimate just yet. Chad assured Abigail that she was fine with staying, but she claimed she didn't want to stay too long. That's when Abigail blurted out the idea of getting wedded and caught Chad off guard. Back in Salem on Thursday's Days occasion, Maggie Kyriakis dropped by the Horton house with bomb bars and had a converse with Julie Williams. Julie gave Maggie updates on the weirdness of the Abigail situation and Chad's stock app that she'd flashed back more in Paris. When the content of Sarah Kyriakis' sudden memory of Brady Black behind the wheel came up, Julie suggested that she wouldn't condemn Sarah if she made it up. Maggie acted like Sarah wouldn't do that, but Julie couldn't help but have sympathy for Brady since he was a good person at heart. That said, Julie and Maggie were hopeful that everyone could move forward now that Brady was taking responsibility. At the Kyriakis Manse on Thursday's days of our live show, E.J. Demura refused to let Sarah renounce her statement against Brady. However, he claimed he'd shoot her to captivity rather for perjury if Sarah tried to fight him on this. E.J. argued that he'd worked out a 10-time deal for Brady, so someone was going to captivity for 10 times. Indeed, if it had to be Sarah. Xander fumed over E.J.'s roadblock and decided perhaps he could talk Kristen Demura into handing over the serum anyway, so he went to the Demura Manse to look for her. At Small Bar on Thursday's day's occasion, Eric Brady introduced himself to Fiona Cook and asked her questions about the night of the May hit and run accident. After Eric mentioned that he topped the server, Fiona claimed she came after Brady summoned her that night and set up him drunk. Eric asked if Fiona was drinking too, but she claimed she'd been sober for a long time now. Fiona acted like Brady left alone, but Eric refocused out that the server said they left together. Once Fiona amended her statement and suggested she went after Brady in expedience of calling him a hack. She said Brady couldn't be converted not to drive. Fiona said she took a hack back to her room before Xander called her with the horrible Sarah news. Eric sounded skeptical of Fiona's story, but he suggested she'd been helpful. Back at the Kyriakis Manse on Thursday's day's occasion, Eric stopped by to talk to Sarah, following his discussion with Fiona. After Eric pushed Sarah to be honest, he asked if Brady was innocent and if she was covering for her mama-in-law. That left Sarah looking confused and taken suddenly. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Eric will unmask his proposition to Sarah soon enough, so we'll pass along prognostications on Fiona's imminent downfall. Thanks for watching these videos. Please hit the subscribe button for more updated news.